Hello and welcome back to another video. So this video might end up being a little bit shorter, but I wanted to share with you guys two new gluten-free, dairy-free recipes. One of them is a new Instant Pot chicken tortilla soup that I made for the first time last week. And both Ryan and I were like, oh my gosh, this is so good. So I had to obviously make it again this week and then share it with y'all. So I'm making that tonight and it's so easy. So I'm super excited about this. I found the recipe on Pinterest, of course, and then I've tweaked it a little bit, of course. As y'all know, that's how I roll with literally every recipe. And then tomorrow I'm going to be making a gluten-free, dairy-free blueberry muffin recipe that I've made 2 different times. Both times they turned out great, but I haven't made them in like a few years. And I was like, I don't think I ever shared this recipe either. But on Wednesday morning for our Bible study, or the Bible study I normally go to, we're doing like a potluck brunch. So I'm gonna bring the blueberry muffins to that on Wednesday morning. So I'm gonna be making those a little bit later in the video. But for tonight, I wanted to share the Instant Pot chicken tortilla soup recipe with you guys. So we're starting off with that. What you need is 3 chicken breasts, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, half an onion, 4 garlic cloves minced, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1.5 cups roughly of frozen corn, like yellow corn, and then 2 cans of black beans, drained and rinsed, 1 4-ounce can of diced green chilies, 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes, and then 1 can of regular diced tomatoes, 4 cups of chicken broth, and then salt and pepper to taste. So I will link this recipe below. You know it's good when your husband, at least for me, when your husband texts you at work because he took it for leftovers and he was like, this soup slaps. And if you know my husband, he's so chill and like even tempered about everything. So normally I'll make a new recipe and I'm very like, oh, this is so good or whatever. And he's like, yeah, it's good. Like he's so nonchalant with everything. And so for him to be like, this soup is so good, says a lot. So let's start making it. Okay, now that we've sauteed the garlic and onion, I'm just gonna scooch it like all to one side and then put down the 3 chicken breasts at the very bottom. Okay, now we just add in literally everything else and then we're gonna cook it. 1 can of normal diced tomatoes, 1 can of the fire roasted tomatoes, 1 can of the diced green chilies, 2 cans of black beans, rinsed, and then roughly 1.5 cups of the frozen corn, but I kind of eyeball it. And I have a little bit left over from a previous bag, so I'm gonna use that first. Like that probably. And then we need our chicken broth, 4 cups of chicken broth. So that's this whole 32-ounce container. I'm just gonna stir this real quick and then just do the seasonings. Okay, we're doing 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Ooh. Okay, and then salt and pepper to taste. I just kind of eyeball. All right, so we're just gonna lock the lid. We're gonna cook it on high pressure for 8 minutes and then let it slowly release for an extra 5 minutes once the timer goes off, and then quick release. Lock it, make sure your little Instant Pot valve is set to the sealed, not the venting. And then 8 minutes. Okay, one thing I did forget to mention is the toppings. So I am dairy-free, obviously. So when I made this recipe last week, I just topped it with cilantro, but some of the recommendations were like cilantro, a squeeze of lime, sliced avocado. If you have anyone in your family that eats dairy, then like cheese and sour cream is what my husband ate it with. And then like the name suggests, it's chicken tortilla soup. And so last week when I made this for the first time, I did get like corn tortilla strips, like the little tortilla strips. And I forgot to do that today or like this week, but you can also add little like corn tortilla strips. So it was good plain, it's good with toppings, but I just wanted to mention that. that you can kind of get creative with your toppings for this recipe. All right, so it's been slow releasing for 5 minutes. So I'm gonna open the quick release and then we're gonna shred the chicken, put the chicken back in, stir it all together, and then it'll be done. Okay, it's gonna get steamy. She looks good. I got these little like meat shredder, like handheld things as a stocking stuffer for Christmas. Like I specifically asked for these because I feel like I make a lot of recipes where you do need to shred chicken, and there's something about me that really hates using 2 forks. I think it's just because of like how little the forks are. And so I saw these on Amazon and was like, yep, I want some of those. So you just mix the chicken back in for a bit, stir it all up, and then it's ready. Okay, that's it for recipe number 1. Okay, it is the next day and I'm getting ready to make the gluten-free, dairy-free blueberry muffins. You can also make these nut-free as well. I am gonna be using some coconut oil, but the recipe says you can substitute for like half a cup of dairy-free butter. So you could use like one of the Country Crock plant-based butters or something if you also needed to omit the coconut oil, but I will be using coconut oil in this recipe. So what you need is 1 3/4 cups of gluten-free all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of either butter or the melted down coconut oil. So half a cup of melted coconut oil is what I'm gonna be doing. You need 3/4 cup of some white sugar or cane sugar, half a cup of milk. I'm gonna be using oat milk for this one. And then you need a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 eggs, and then 1.5 cups of fresh blueberries. So that's everything you need. And the recipe is very, very simple from what I remember. So let's see, we're gonna start off with preheating the oven to 425. All right, step 1. In a small mixing bowl, add your flour, your cinnamon, your baking soda, and salt. We're gonna whisk those together. And then in a large mixing bowl, we're gonna add our sugar and our coconut oil, and we're going to mix them together with like a hand mixer until these 2 ingredients are really well blended together. And then once these are well blended, we add the milk, the vanilla, and the eggs, and like the other wet ingredients. And then combine the dry ingredients, the wet ingredients together, and then we're gonna wash the blueberries, but then coat them in a little bit of flour before adding them into the batter that we just mixed together. And then the recipe doesn't say to do this, but I will probably sprinkle a little bit of extra sugar once I've like poured the batter into the muffin tins. So let's get started. all I can think about is you fold in the cheese. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does folded in mean? If I have any Schitt's Creek watchers out there, you fold it in. That's all I'm thinking about. You say fold it in one more time. It says fold it in. All right, our batter is done. So now we're just gonna put them into the muffin tins, and the instructions for baking them, I don't really remember this from 2 years ago, the last time I made this, so I'm just gonna go off what it says. I don't remember if I changed this, but it says to bake these for 5 minutes at the 425 that we started with, that we preheated with. So bake them for 5 minutes at the 425 and then lower your oven to 350 and then bake for 18 to 20 minutes or until the muffins are springy to the touch and you do the little toothpick test and it comes out clean. So I'm gonna put these in the little muffin tin. I'm bummed because I literally have one little liner. I don't have enough. That's okay, I'll eat that one. I'll eat that one without the liner when I take them to our Bible study, but let's cook these. The recipe also did say to fill the muffin tins to the top. So that's also what I'm gonna do. Okay, the recipe didn't call for this, but I think I'm just gonna try to sprinkle just a tiny bit of sugar on top. All right, so in they go for 5 minutes and then down to 350 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes. What I'm currently stressing about is that Heidi is giving me all the cues that she wants to go OUT, SIDE. And I have muffins in the oven, okay? This is no time for a walk. I don't think she knows that word yet fully. I mean, she's 12, so she doesn't know it by now. But I'm sitting here trying to like play with her and like entertain her until the muffins are out of the oven because I can't leave now. We're in too deep. Oh, no, not the spinning. Okay, the muffins are out of the oven. I just did the toothpick test and they were coming out clean, no like dough or anything. So I did the 5 minutes at 425 and then I ended up doing a full 18 minutes at 350 like the recipe called for. So hopefully they're just as delicious as I remember them. I feel like they are a little bit more like kind of golden brown in real life than I feel like what the camera looks like. But I'm gonna go take Heidi out now that these are out of the oven. Okay, I just kind of plated the blueberry muffins so that I could get a cute thumbnail picture. But that is going to be it for this week's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you like these kind of videos and just me continuing to share recipes with you guys. Let me know. But I hope you like both of these recipes. I hope you'll give them a try. Also, be sure to comment if you try either of these because they're both really good. So I hope you enjoyed them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And I will see you in next week's video. Bye.